Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Wiggle on your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today I want to talk about 5 tips to help you guys in solo queue and matchmaking. We get a lot of questions and some of the answers are covered in this video about issues that you're presented with in your Overwatch games and how to overcome them. Hopefully I can help you guys out, and the comment section is the place to go if you have questions for things that maybe we can answer in another video. The first one I want to go through though is being ult wiped doesn't mean you need some drastic change within a game. How often do you go to initiate on the team in 2CP or King of the Hill, whatever it may be, and the enemy team simply have more ults than you? Graviton comes out, maybe a Tracer Pulse Bomb, or Pharah rains fire from above, and it goes very, very wrong for your team, and then someone will cry out for a mad hero swap, or we need to change a comp, or we need a Reinhardt, which is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. If you've been team wipe ulted, that's Overwatch. That's what happens. If the enemy have the worst 6 combination of ults in the game, they're still going to beat you if you don't ult back or counter ult. Being ult wiped doesn't mean that you're at a massive disadvantage, and a lot of the time can mean you're actually at an advantage. It doesn't mean you need to tilt and change heroes. If they've used 3 or 4 ults to wipe you in the next fight, the chances are you will actually have the ult advantage over them. Then it's upon you and your team to initiate with your ultimates, wipe them and take the point. Tilting at the sight of all these ults happens all the time, and I think it's something that as solo queuers in the community is something that should be noticed more often, so that you can then take that experience of being wiped as a positive one to move forward and wipe the enemy team with what you've got left. Now the next one, although a bit of a meme, is definitely very true when you're playing solo queue, and that's that meta doesn't matter. Now this isn't strictly true, and there's a meta because at the top end of things, when played perfectly, at the minute the tank meta is the best thing to do, and before it may have been the dive comp. But whatever the meta is at the time, when you're playing matchmaking, you're always going to have people that don't want to pick what you want to pick. They want to pick what they want, or they'll just run something without even communicating it. So what you have to do in times like this is play to your strengths. How often are you running meta and getting absolutely destroyed anyway? Maybe you are running triple tank, but if your Roadhog's not hitting hooks, that's not good enough. You cannot run triple tank in that scenario. So swapping, playing to your strengths, and running off meta may be the way to go. Also, a lot of times in these situations where people are running triple tank and losing, the enemy team aren't running meta either. Some people are better with certain heroes, and meta only applies if you're very, very good at running it. I'm not saying that 6 DPS is the way forward or 1 healer is always the way forward. That's not what I'm saying. You just have to analyze the games and sometimes play to your own strengths and play selfishly. It's not the best way to play, but sometimes that's just what you have to do. You do need to be careful, and running meta well is always the best thing to do because that's why it's the meta. Sometimes you just have to identify when it's best not to do so. Now the next thing to talk about is don't tilt off the side of the planet at many things, but one in particular is making a hero pick. Maybe someone's not happy with the way you're playing, or maybe they want to play a specific hero themselves, but sometimes people won't always ask you in the right tone, and not tilting when someone speaks to you like crap is sometimes the way forward. A lot of the time when playing Overwatch, there's no actual time in game to be nice, to really think about it and approach someone's feelings in a way to be able to make a proper swap and actually win the game. Sometimes if there's only a minute left on the clock, someone can't ask you very nicely, oh, could you please do this? Sometimes they might sound very jumpy, but at the end of the day, guys, 99% of the people that are playing Overwatch just want to win the game. So if someone sounds off with you, they may not have a personal grudge. They may genuinely just be trying to win the game and think your hero swap is useful. So being creative in these situations can be very, very helpful, and making a swap might just be the edge you have to not make your teammate tilt and win the game at the end of things. Now the next one is a big one, and that is actually regrouping for fights. Now we've spoke about regrouping a lot, and I think we even have dedicated videos to it, but sometimes even we neglect to explain exactly what regrouping means, and it means back all the way up and don't have any initiation with the enemy team. Now this kind of goes back to the team wipe issue earlier. Say your team gets wrecked by a load of ultimates and you only have 1 or 2 people still left alive. If you're actually regrouping, then people should back all the way up so that they're not having any damage given or taken from the enemies. However, what will happen a lot of the time is them 2 players will back off to what they think is safety and do some chip damage to the enemy team. In that situation, all they're actually doing is charging charging enemy ultimates. And the number one sin of all is just as your team are coming back for the regroup, them two guys that are poking all the time waiting for that respawn might get picked just before you regroup, further delaying the next team fight and letting the enemy charge their ults even further. So you might even just get ult wiped again, making people say we need swaps when really all that was needed was proper regrouping. And that genuinely means don't do any damage, don't take any damage, and back all the way up to spawn. If you watch a pro game a lot of the time, they will back all the way up so the enemy team don't chase them out to confirm the frags and get their kills, but also just to make sure that when they regroup for the next fight, they've got the best advantages possible. And the last thing to tag onto this as well is that remember, if you're playing in solo queue, the enemy team are disorganized too. So you're going to win from just about any situation using strong fundamentals, because even at Grandmasters, mistakes all the way through every game, and the team that makes the less mistakes are actually going to win, not the team that make the best plays. Now the last point is important. It sums a lot of the other points up, but it's don't be too stubborn, but as well also have some core heroes that you can swap to. Now sometimes you can be playing in a game and you can be playing really well and someone asks for a hero swap. Now not only is just doing that, as mentioned earlier, good because it stops them tilting and can help to win the game, but if you just have a diverse hero pool, this can be enough to win games. So I've played before when I'm playing very well at DPS. But someone on my team that usually only plays DPS, and not necessarily that well either, has gone tank because they wanted to fill for your team. They may be getting mad because they feel like they could do DPS better, and even if that isn't true and you're playing great, if you have other core roles in your arsenal, you can swap off DPS. Give this other person the DPS role that they want and play tank or healer better than they ever could. I've done this many times, and it's taken a long time to learn these. We've been playing on live stream now for months and months, and originally I wasn't used to playing in that environment. I wasn't used to people solo queuing and doing what they want, and I would get very mad or tilted or even potentially toxic, what people would consider at times, because I didn't want to swap. Over time though, I've learned that sometimes swapping off of a role I'm even doing good at and taking a role from someone that's playing it badly wins games. It really does. And having the hero pool to allow you to play core roles like that is very important. Now a lot of people ask us, who should I main your Overwatch, or Weagle, who should I main? And there's a few answers I can give you. It's good to always have a core tank. Not many Reinhardt players are very good, and Reinhardt played well can carry a game, so he's always a good choice. Anna's a good choice too, and she's often played not very well either. Being able to hit sleep darts can win team fights, and she has the best burst healing in the game, and her ultimate is also very strong. She can self-heal and stop enemy teams from healing. She's very good. Definitely want to learn. Lucio as well, not always played that great, even though he's one of the most simpler heroes to play in the game, and his speed boost can be used very efficiently if your team actually utilize it. If not, then Anna's your go-to pick, and maybe Zen as well. In terms of DPS, most of them are good on the offensive role. Tracer, I maintain, is good. Reaper, and of course Soldier is very powerful, because if you learn Soldier and he does get nerfed or come out of meta, he will always be good. He's always been good. It's just McCree may swap in and out, with him being the best kind of sustained damage DPS role. Finally, I think Roadhog will always be a good choice, and I think D.Va's always going to be very meta too. Most of the heroes in the game guides are very good. The heroes that have always been meta are good for you to swap to whenever you like, and it's good to learn as many of these so that you can pull things out when your team feel like you need to. Sometimes agreeing with people even though they're wrong can work. It's just down to you to decide when it's the right time to do so. Let me know what you guys think. Comment section is the place to go. I'm happy to answer any questions, and also you can leave comments on things we could cover in another tip series like this. Be sure to check out our Twitter, where we tweet out funny clips and live streams and updates and things like that. Our Discord, where you guys can go and find the Reinhardt of your dreams, group up with people. There's around 30,000 members. We have a huge Discord, and thank you guys for being a part of that. Be sure to check out our Twitch, where we stream every single day, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.